think Thank you. Everybody looks up.
We're all like, remember you gave me one of these ones on the field. I make a dive. I catch it. Not how to get it. Yep.
Too bad we can't catch fish. Blame you. Huh?
Walk like everyone. Like you know him. I'm like, I didn't talk to him. I was He told me that he could saw the fat about my head. The guy was actually They would pick it up, they came to the bar, they could tell. Emotional damage. Okay, the words, he's always talking. Good crowd. Did you have fun with your friends?
Please elaborate. Nope. It was fun.
2 minutes.
And then the last night it started off
We thought there'd be a lot of the top 10. Yeah, stories.
We're going to continue. It's now time to begin our induction ceremony as we welcome in the 16th class of the SMSU Athletics Hall of Honor. For tradition, each Hall of Honor inductee chooses a special person to present their Hall of Honor plaque this afternoon. Our first inductee is Amanda Burkhart. Present Amanda's Hall of Honor plaque is former SMSU assistant softball coach Carrie Long. Carrie, please come forward. Burkhart gets a 4-year letter order for the Mustangs softball team and closed her career as not only one of the most prolific hitters in program history, but also one of the winningest players to ever wear the brown and gold. A native of Omaha, Nebraska, Burkhart made a big impact during her first 2 seasons as a Mustang, but had a monster junior season in 2008. Burkhart led the Mustangs in batting average, doubles, and RBI, while ranking second in home runs. She was also named All-NSIC First Team, up with the Mustangs to an NSIC regular season championship and a 3rd straight trip to the NCAA tournament. Burkhart came through with an even bigger season in 2009, closing her career with record-breaking numbers and major individual accolades. She set SMSU single-season records in home runs, RBI, and total bases, while leading the club with a .367 batting average. For her efforts, she was named the NSIC Player of the Year and Daktronics NCAA Central Region Player of the Year, while earning Daktronics All-American First Team and NFCA All-American Third Team honors. Burkhart finished her career batting .325, while ranking first in school history home runs, doubles, and RBI, and second in games played with 210. SMSU finished with a combined 150 and 60 record during her career. Please welcome the newest member of the Hall of Honor, Amanda Burkhart.
You're the leadoff batter. But she never did ever in college, not one time. So congratulations, Amanda. And over the years, we've changed the format where we do a little question and answer, get to know our inductees. And Amanda volunteered to go first and bat leadoff today, so congratulations, first of all. But Amanda, Coach Semler, Coach Loft had a lot of success recruiting players from the Omaha area, and still do to this day, Coach Ballman. You came north to play softball. What attracted you to Southwest and to play for the Mustangs when you make your choice out of high school?
I think right away when I came, I just felt very welcomed by everyone around me. I remember staying at one of the girls' houses that night, and for that I was like, oh, she's letting me stay in her house? That's kind of weird. Like, I don't even know them yet. But that was just kind of Marshall. I mean, everyone was just kind of welcoming, and to me, you know, I'm used to a bigger city. Not like Omaha's huge, but it's larger than Marshall, and it was kind of nice just to have the coziness of everybody welcoming you and supporting you all the time.
Any successful playing career, Amanda, and team success coincides with great teammates, friends. What are some of the memories that you have, not necessarily on the field of play, but off the field that you remember the most, that you can talk about?
I mean, the bus rides were the best because we would always, I mean, I don't know how I crammed in this little tiny thing to sleep for 3 hours at a time or do homework, and just being with your best friends all the time. I don't think you would ask for anything better. All of us were really close. I mean, there was, I think, 9 of us in my freshman year, and a lot of us stayed playing the whole time, and so for us that was special, just to always be around each other. Florida was always super fun. We always kind of got to do some fun stuff there with different pranks for each other, and I think Laura remembers some of those too with us when she would take care of us. But yeah, it was always a great time.
The success the Mustang softball team had during your 4 seasons, truly remarkable. The numbers speak for themselves. What do you think the key factor was for your success? Obviously you had great players all across the diamond, but there had to be something more to it, that, you know, to win that many games, to win that many championships. And are there things that you take from those teams and your teammates that you learned that you can take to today, that you use today in your professional life?
I think for me, from the start with my parents, always like working your hardest no matter what. Even if you weren't going to be the starter, I mean, make yourself the starter. Make yourself be that person. And as a teacher, I still try to do that for my kids at school, my own children. I mean, I don't make them play sports, but we encourage them to play sports because we love them. And it just seems to be like our family atmosphere just always surrounds ourselves by working hard and finding a way to make it happen. And if it's hard, what are you going to do to get to that spot? So I think that's just kind of always been in our blood.
Great word. Your offensive numbers speak for themselves for your 4-year career, just incredible numbers. What do you think the key component that drove you to compete each time you stepped onto the field or into the batter's box? You know, what did you look for as a hitter? Was it a certain pitch or just see ball, hit ball? What was your kind of philosophy to put up those numbers in your career?
I mean, I never tried to get behind an account too far. I figured if it looked good the first one, I'm gonna try to hit it as far as I can. But I think for me, like, the leadership aspect of, like, if I'm gonna do it, then they're gonna see me do it, and then everyone else hopefully will follow. We had a pretty strong team. A lot of us had strong personalities. I was probably one of the stronger personalities. I was hoping to be what other people look for eventually. I never thought I would sit here necessarily. But, if I'm gonna go up there and do it, or if I'm gonna strike out, I'm gonna try to help somebody else the next time, just so that we can all have more success. I don't like losing in anything. Cards, Monopoly, I mean, I want to win. So that was just kind of like what it was.
Yeah. Amanda, your family had a big influence on your entire athletic career. They attended many games home and away. Chat about the impact they had on your career as a youth through college and still today, obviously.
Yeah. Omaha's about 4.5 hours drive away. They would come to everything. My aunt and uncle would come to a lot of stuff. It was just super important for them to see me, and I think if I knew they were there, it would just make it a little bit better for me too. Coach Summer was from the Omaha area, and so that was nice. We'd always try to play in Omaha at some point, or maybe go south if it was a little bit warmer. But I think for them just to support me and be there for me was the most important thing, because that just made me better. And if you're surrounded by people that care about you all the time, that just kind of makes it a little bit sweeter.
Yes. Well, Amanda, congratulations on an incredible career, and congratulations and welcome newest inductee to the Hall of Honor. Okay.
Our next inductee is Aaron Contons. To present Aaron's plaque is former teammate and good friend Whitney Fisher. Contons was a 4-year letter winner for the Mustang volleyball team, closing her career as one of the most decorated players in team history, and helped build a program to become one of the best in the NCAA Division II. Contons burst out of the scene during her freshman season in 2004, ranking second on the team with 520 kills, while earning ABCA Central Region Freshman of the Year, NSIC Newcomer of the Year, and all NSIC first team accolades. Her play helped SMSU qualify for the NCAA tournament for just the second time in program history. As a sophomore, Contons racked up a team-high 667 kills, while hitting a career best 287 and helping SMSU secure 26 victories and another trip to the NCAA tournament. She was named All-NSIC First Team and was honored with an ABCA and Daktronics All-American Second Team honors for the first time in her career. Contons put together an even bigger season in 2006, setting the school record with 737 kills. She was named All-NSIC First Team and was named ABCA and Daktronics All-American Second Team for the second straight season. Contons would conclude her career in 2007, helping SMSU make a fourth straight NCAA tournament appearance, while leading the Mustangs with 570 kills. For her efforts, she was named the NSIC Player of the Year and ABCA All-American First Team. Contons finished her career ranking first in school history in kills, kills per set, and points, while ranking second in digs. Please welcome the newest member of the Hall of Honor, Aaron Contons.
It's the loft lounge, we call it. Let's sit back. More cigars later. There we go. Yeah. Aaron, congrats. You had a major impact, obviously, at Southwest throughout your entire career, but as a freshman in 2004, Region and NSIC Player, or Freshman of the Year. You made the transition look pretty easy from high school to college, but there obviously was a lot of obstacles. What did you have to learn from the high school to the collegiate game? We think was the biggest thing that to be able to play to be that successful right away?
I think it helped that my high school coach was kind of wild. Like, he pushed us really hard. Mm-hmm. So I was used to a level of playing through high school and through juniors that I was ready for that. But I think, I was just talking about this last night, it was, being in college is a kind of a, you're an adult, but you're not an adult. So like,
trust us. Yeah.
So like navigating the flexibility and the freedom, but also like being disciplined in what you need to do to keep at that level. So I think that just doing what I needed to do, honestly, and whatever that took.
Well, definitely work. Playing a team sport and winning at a high level, obviously, is very rewarding. And I'm sure that's something during your 4 seasons. You talked about that recently, just such good playing. You learn to appreciate just what it takes to work together as a team and to win. That's something you appreciate probably more now while you're playing, but more afterwards as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting a group of anybody to do anything is oftentimes like herding cats. So like a lot of looking back, all of the work and organization that comes into the structure of practice, where it's going to be, how are we going to get there, all of those things, and how are we going to play at a top level. And yeah, playing as a team, it's hard. It's hard work as a leader to understand that you don't really get to choose. Like, I had to realize that I was that person, and like, even if I wanted to or not, I was who my team was looking at to lead and guide them. And I think that really, learning that was hard sometimes. I remember my dad being like, they're trying their best. So like, you have to be patient, and like, you have to understand to meet people where they're at to get the best out of everyone around you. It's not easy, but I think that playing team sports really helped me in my professional life now to understand that dynamic.
You know, you play with so many great teammates, as you just talked about. The success you had reflects all that. But volleyball is an ultimate team game, and you wouldn't have the kills, the other stats, if it wasn't for your teammates digging out an attack and passing it and those type of things. How about just your teammates and what they meant to you and the coaches that made you work hard in practice and to become a player, better throughout your entire career?
Yeah, I mean, it is the ultimate team sport. I would not have the success that I had without everybody around me, and we went through a lot. Every day we worked hard, and we worked hard for each other. And I think when you or in volleyball, you have to be doing it for somebody else. Like, you're working hard so somebody else can have success at what they're doing. So if you're not working hard, you're letting that person next to you down. So, and vice versa. So it's a constant, giving sport too. Like, you have to give your all in it.
And speaking of teammates and your time at Southwest, you met some wonderful friends, obviously, during your time in Marshall that you still keep in touch today. How important were those relationships in college and, helping you get through the grind of college volleyball?
I mean, I feel like I grew a lot, and there was trials and tribulations, navigating through being an adult but not an adult, being around people, and kind of understanding that dynamic of friends and how to be as a person. And I think I learned the most just from everybody around me that it's best just to be yourself and be kind. And I was surrounded by a lot of those people, and my friend Whitney, who's here today, is my very best friend, was with me through it all the laughs and the tears to get through what we needed to do to play at the level that we were playing at. It takes a village. You need that support, and you need those friends around you.
Erin, speaking of your success in volleyball, comes from countless hours of training, Erin, and practice from your youth all the way through college. Now as a parent, you've seen it firsthand, the strain that it is and the sacrifice that parents for, money-wise and just the time and effort to help support your kids' dreams, and that your family did that throughout your entire youth and through college.
Yeah, they, worked at the concession stands to pay for my exorbitantly expensive junior teams and all the tournaments and games, and making sure I, had the opportunities. Like, they saw something in me and they believed in me, maybe before I believed in me. And I think that's really important as a parent, and I really appreciate that about my parents, is that they saw something in me before I did, and were there to encourage me and give me the opportunities and the resources to excel at what I love to do.
All right. Great words, Erin. Congratulations. The latest inductee to the Hall of Honor.
Our next inductee is Dave Garvin. To present Dave's plaque, his son, Wayne Garvin.
Garvin was a key member of the SMSU swimming and diving program for 4 seasons, and also was a member of the Mustang football program. Garvin was a standout diver for the program, and helped the Mustangs become one of the top programs, not only in the Northern Intercollegiate Conference, but among the best in NAIA. During his junior season in 1974-75, Garvin won the 3-meter conference title with a record score of 483.55. Later that season, he earned NAIA All-American honors in the 3-meter diving with a 6th-place finish at the NAIA Championships. As a senior in 1975-76, Garvin served as a team co-captain while placing 2nd at the NIC Championships and earning NAIA All-American Honorable Mention accolades. He closed his career placing in the top 5 for 3 straight seasons at the NIC Championships. He was a member of 4 straight NIC championship teams, with 3 of the teams finishing among the top 16 at the NAIA Championships. Garvin was also a member of SMSU football program for 2 seasons, including serving as the team's punter during the 1975 campaign.
Please welcome the newest member of the Hall of Honor, Dave Garvin.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you here, and we saw some of those great photos of how you competed in diving, those type of things, but when you got here, the importance of your coaches, Coach Palm, Coach Ekstrom, they were meant so much to our swimming and diving program and meant a lot to you and all your teammates.
Yes, they did. Coach Ekstrom, real patient with me. And Coach Marcy was my head coach when I first started, when he got into Marshall. Let's say my freshman year, but didn't have a freshman year. So I promoted to middle school.
Okay.
But we were on the AU team, and Rusty helped me out quite a bit.
Yeah, they were important to you. Can you talk, Dave, about how much you enjoyed the competition and competing and diving? We looked at some of those pictures of you celebrating your conference championships and being an All-American. How important were your teammates, the friendships that you had while competing, and just what that meant to compete for the Mustangs?
Very important. You saw them in that one picture, there's Jerry Selsky and Randy Huff there holding my arms up. And they were great support, great, good friends.
Yeah. The meets that you guys had at Southwest, and a lot of people, some people don't know this, but the Don Paul Natatorium now was an electric place for home meets. The lights were down, and it was an incredible experience for your home meets. Just talk about the experience it was to be able to compete at home, because it was you guys had a great pregame introduction and everything.
Yeah. Used the 2001 Space Odyssey theme song. And
the pet band as well. The band played, yes.
yeah, the cheerleader team.
Yeah, incredible. And then competing as a diver takes a lot of hard work and hours of preparation. Maybe, kind of by yourself when you're diving and those type of things. Just, can you talk about the hours that you put in and how hard it is to compete as a diver and to be successful like you were?
Well, it's nerve-wracking. You're not there all by yourself, and you're in the pool with yourself and your teammates. You don't think about it. You just focus on the end of the lane.
And, you had an incredible career. Again, conference champ and All-American. And Dave, congratulations on an outstanding career for the Mustangs, and appreciate you making it all the way up here from Texas and this great honor here today, okay? Thank you.
Our next inductee is Andrew Kinney. To present Andrew's Hall of Honor plaque, his former teammate and good friend, Matt Paulson.
His career was one of the top power hitters in team history. Kinney led the Mustangs in home runs and RBI in both his freshman and sophomore seasons. The 2009 season was a special one. Not only for Kinney, who put up monster numbers, but the Mustang baseball program as well. Kinney tied a school record with 17 home runs, while batting .408 and leading the team with 55 RBI. He was named All-NSIC First Team, was named All-Region, and capped the season earning All-American Honorable Mention honors. Kinney helped lead the Mustangs to 28 victories and the program's first ever trip to the NCAA tournament, and was named to the NCAA All-Tournament team. Kinney had another big season as a senior in 2010, tying the single-season home run record once again, and during the season became the program's all-time leader in home runs. He batted .349, led the club with 48 RBI, and helping SMSU win 29 games and finish as an NSIC tournament runner-ups. Kinney finished his career ranking first in school history home runs, RBI, and total bases, while ranking second in school history in slugging percentage.
Please welcome the newest member of the Hall of Honor, Andrew Kinney.
Yes. Who put those high socks on you? That was cool back in the day, huh?
Nope.
No. So you kind of look back like, I actually did that. Oh well. Andrew, some of the best memories, as we just heard from Dave and others, that you have from college are not only what happens on the field of play, but the interaction that you have with teammates and friends that you never forget. Can you explain to some of what it means to be part of a team and playing fall ball, the winter workouts, the bus trips? In the end, that's what it's all worth it, and that's what playing college sports is all about.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a grind. I mean, you're doing fall ball, winter workouts, individuals, just in the weight room, and then season comes around, and then it's also summertime too. Like you're going to play summer ball somewhere else, so you're out. It's a full-time job.
Yeah. Some of your closest friends to this day are former teammates from your freshman season through your collegiate career and on. Just talk about those special relationships. Again, we're kind of in the same boat, all of us, that what it means to be a Mustang, and then the friends that you made that you still cherish today.
I mean, where do I begin with these guys? I mean, they're all over there. I can spend so much time up here talking about them. I mean, they're my best friends, my brothers. I mean, outside of those guys, the team was like my second family. Like we're just a family together. We spend every waking minute together doing everything together. Baseball, outside of baseball too. I mean, I can't say anymore. Like they're my best friends, and I love it.
You know, Andrew, Coach Blanchard had a big influence on your career, recruiting you, giving you a chance to play right away as a true freshman, and teaching you the finer points of the game. If you know Coach Blanchard, maybe the real finer points of the game, but just talk about the impact he had and the other coaches during your career to become a better college player and then eventually professional baseball player.
I mean, Skip, where do I start with Skip? I mean, if there was one job in the world that man was built for, it was coaching baseball. I mean, everything, the situations, counts, everything. He would run through practices. Like, it was crazy coming in like my freshman year and just realizing there is way more to this game than anything. I mean, he taught me so much, and then like going to pro ball, like it made it a little easier. I mean, not easier, but like Skip transferring that knowledge to me was just unbelievable. I give everything to Skip for that.
Yeah. Your offensive stats, tremendous during your entire career. What made you such a great hitter or a power hitter? Was it just a batting practice, or again, kind of what we asked Amanda, just kind of knowledge what the pitcher's going to, throw you, and just kind of being ahead in the count and those type of things? Because obviously the all-time leader in home runs here. Didn't matter that bats were juiced up back then, but still, that was the gun. But I jokingly, but yes, but obviously a lot that you brought to the plate every time you went up there. You had a plan, and it obviously paid off.
Yeah, I mean, just preparation, BP, little things. Wes, thank you for all the BP that we used to do. Always one more, never want to hear those words again. But like just learning, seeing the tendencies the pitchers do, and honestly, having confidence is huge. Just believing in yourself and everything was big for me too.
And Andrew, your time at Southwest saw the Mustangs win a lot of baseball games and compete for the top of the league standings every year. In the 2009 season, the team really kind of broke through and made the NCAA tournament for the first time. What made that team so special? Obviously, you had some big offensive numbers, but it was a lot of just guys coming together, and it peaked up there. You won a regional tournament and nearly won a couple more.
Yep, God, where do I start with that team? I mean, we, at that point in time, we were probably 3 years deep playing each other, so we had confidence in everybody, and to do any situation that we're in, like, we all trusted each other, and we just meshed well, and it just clicked. I mean, starting out 10-1 before that year was pretty
Incredible.
good, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
keep
so,
that momentum going.
and then, of course, in your last season, 2010, had another great season, made the conference tournament championship game and just came up 1 run short.
Yep.
But still another great team as well. It was a good run.
Yeah, same thing, like, there's another group, I mean, outside of like Nolan, Greg, West, I mean, we had Curry come in, we had a bunch of other guys come in there, and just, we all just meshed well together, friends, I mean, without like having that friendship and just doing everything together, I don't think we ever would have done that.
Andrew, congratulations on a tremendous career for hitting. You also pitched a little bit as well. Congratulations on newest inductee, Andrew Kitty.
Our next inductee is Tyler Reed. To present Tyler's Hall of Honor plaque is his father, Rob Reed.
Tyler Reed played 4 seasons for the SMSU football program and was a standout not only on the field of play, but in the classroom as well. Reed made a big impact during his true freshman season in 2005, leading the team with 72 tackles and 2 interceptions. In 2007, Reed put together impressive numbers once again, racking up a team-high 101 tackles with 3 interceptions, 5 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 block kick. He was named All-NSIC First Team and was named Daktronics All-Region Second Team. Reed had another outstanding season to conclude his career in 2008. He seen the Mustangs with a team-high 82 tackles with 3 forced fumbles and 1 interception. He was named All-NSIC First Team, Daktronics All-Region Second Team, and D2Football.com All-American Honorable Mention. For his efforts off the field during his senior season, Reed was recognized as the 2008 NSIC Glenn Galligan Award honoree, which is presented to a football student athlete who is academically superior while making a positive contribution to the institution. He was also named COSIDA Academic All-District Second Team. Reed also completed 1 season with the SMSU wrestling team in 2008-09.
Please welcome the newest member of the Hall of Honor, Tyler Reed.
Well, congratulations. Thank you. Boy, we talked about that Glenn Galligan Award winner, and I wanted to say, God, what a nerd. God, it's student athlete days. Jokingly, of course, but Tyler, congratulations. Good to see you again. Any successful playing career and team success coincides with great teammates and friends. You played as a true freshman. That's not easy to do. What were some of the teammates that took you under your wing, or how important was that to be able to play as a true freshman and impactful those guys were to you?
Yeah, coming in, Coach Isis, Steinbach, bringing me in, I didn't expect to start my freshman year right away. I think when I came in on the depth chart, 3rd, 4th on the depth chart, and it was just about getting better. So, but I can kind of highlight a few guys that really brought me under their wing along the way. Mostly defensive guys, of course, but John Cornelius, I know that guy was a huge instrumental piece. Some of these guys remember him. Upperclassman, you know, he taught me a lot about the game, but just get me integrated with the rest of the guys. Tyler Fisher, John Kubat, Willie Sutton. There's a number of guys that I can highlight for sure, but thankful for them. I couldn't have done it without them. Bring me under their wing and show me a little bit more about the sport. You
know, you mentioned a couple of guys, your coaches, and they were able to make it here today, Coach Isis and Coach Steinbach. How important were they, you know, not only recruiting you to get to Southwest, but once you got here, just to teach you the finer points? And Coach Steinbach obviously did it in a very polite way most of the time in practice, when you guys made a mistake or not. But I'll tell you what, they made a big impact and just be able to play and play at a high level.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget the counting of the loafs, which equated to running gassers. I think he was pretty hard on some of those loafs that he called. You know, you let up on a play, you're going to be running for it. But no, both of them. I think, you know, in high school we can get away with our athleticism a lot, and it makes up a lot for some mistakes or poor technique. And in college you just can't get away with that stuff. So Coach Isis, Coach Steinbach showing us the game, showing us, you know, all these subtle nuances that we can break down on film and study and practice for. It just takes you to another level, lets you play faster, you know, make these reads and ultimately make the plays that maybe otherwise you wouldn't have made. So, yeah, we couldn't have better coaches. So thanks, coaches.
Of course, Tyler, you had the chance to play at both Old Mackey Field. I know Dave Garman got to punt out there with that wind. It's a classic stadium, but you got to go from there to the Schwann Regional Event Center. Just talk about how special it was to open up a new stadium during your career, to go from a place with some character to a beautiful stadium. Yeah. Character is what we call it.
Small difference. Yeah, small difference there for sure. No, coming in, being recruited, that was a big talking point, and so we were really excited about that when it finally came to fruition there my senior year and getting to play on that. As Coach Steiny was talking about, it was supposed to happen a year before, so I might have got a couple years on it, but just so thankful. I know it's obviously beautiful. It's an attractive, stadium. It's one of the best in the D2. So, another great stadium, and blessed to be able to step foot on it.
Yeah, obviously, we joke with your accomplishments off the field of play is outstanding, winning major awards for your academic success. How were you able to balance that, and how important you knew at the time, but now in your professional career, just how the balancing effort for school and to play made a big difference through your career and now professionally?
Yeah, I guess, the biggest things I can point to is just discipline and a little bit of sacrifice. I know I probably speak for a few of those guys back there, Matt Fish and Tom Brown, Jim Nelson. I probably missed a few of the good parties over there so that I could, a little bit more sacrifice than some of these guys, having a good time. But I had a good time too. But I, nose in the books, playbooks, studying film. I think those were a few good things that I did that propelled me forward and allowed me to succeed.
Yeah. And then last question, your family had a big influence on your entire career, and everybody obviously in today's Hall of Honor, but they were nearly at every college game. You're from Ottumwa, not a quick trip, coming up to Marshall, but just how important was that to have them to come to all your games, nearly every game throughout your career, and they still have an impact today?
Absolutely. God's blessed me in many ways, but certainly with the best parents that a guy could have. I think my dad made it to 43 of 44 games, and my mom 42 of 44, if I remember right. They probably remember because I probably paid them to miss the one or two. But I'd hate to add up the amount of miles and money and hotels and food and all that it took for them to support me all those years. I've got a fifth kid on the way. I'm a little worried for myself.
Get a lot of hours out of you.
Maybe this NIL money, maybe, teach them how to get some of that. So I'm not in trouble. But no, absolutely blessed. And yeah, thank you.
All right. Tyler, congratulations on a tremendous career. Tyler Reed.
Our next inductee is Shelley Schoenig. To present Shelley's Hall of Honor plaque is her father, Bob Schoenig. And was a key member during the best four-year stretch in program history. He played in all 29 games as a true freshman in helping SMSU win 20 games for the first time in program history. In 2001, SMSU won a school record 25 games, won the NSIC championship, and advanced to the NCAA tournament for the first time in team history. Schoenig ranked third on the team in scoring, while shooting 80% from the free throw line and racking up a team-high 63 steals. He was named the NSIC Defensive Player of the Year and was all NSIC honorable mention. As a junior, Schoenig led the team in scoring with a team-high 63 steals. SMSU won the NSIC regular season and tournament championship, with Schoenig earning NSIC tournament MVP honors. He was also named all NSIC first team and Daktronics all-region second team, in helping the Mustangs win 24 games and advance to the NCAA Central Region Championship game. Schoenig would earn all NSIC first team accolades during her senior season, scoring 14.2 points per game with a team-high 112 free throws made and team-leading 66 steals. She finished her career ranking second in school history in free throws made, fourth in assists, fourth in steals, fifth in points, sixth in field goals made, and sixth in field goal percentage. Please welcome the newest member of the Hall of Honor, Shelly Showman.
They all kind of say the same thing. It is nice up here. Shelly, congratulations. Good to see you. Can you kind of explain the process of how you got to Southwest? I remember back in the day, Coach Kruger, you were a big recruit for him, and it worked hard to get you here, but just the impact that he had to get you here, and then just the adjustments you had to make when you got to college to play at the collegiate level.
Yeah, I played both basketball and volleyball in high school, and when I graduated, I was unsure of what I wanted to do. I really enjoyed both sports, so after high school, I kind of entertained playing volleyball and basketball. I went on a handful of visits, and one of the first questions I always asked was, can I play both? Is it possible to play both? Obviously, looking back now, that's a feat that not many people can accomplish, but I was 98% sure I was going to Morehead State. I had purchased gear, I thought I was ready to go, and Coach Kruger had reached out, and I had no idea where Southwest State was. I thought, oh my gosh, that's so far away. Really, it was only 2 hours away. So Coach Kruger took the time to come do a home visit, and it's a feeling that you can't explain. It's just, I had that feeling of Morehead's not where I want to go. And he, took the time. We had a lot of great conversations. I went and watched the team play. As he was getting ready to leave, I couldn't mutter out the words that I wanted to come here. So I let him leave, and I looked at my mom and dad, and I'm like, why didn't I tell him I wanted to go there? So I picked up the phone and made the call and said I would love to come to Southwest. So I'm super excited, and obviously, this honor is amazing and humbling. The adjustment to college actually was okay for me. My parents can attest. She was ready to leave. She needed to go spread her wings a little bit, and I did go back. I stepped foot on campus, and it was just it felt like home. So the adjustment for me, was a little less painful than maybe some freshmen.
You talked about just the great coaches you had from youth all the way through college, and your high school coach and Coach Kruger. Just explain that they had in your career in basketball.
Absolutely. Obviously, my dad as my first coach will probably be my last coach. He coaches me every day still. And I think each coach along the way, helps mold you into the person and the player that you become. Obviously, playing for Coach Kruger here, he's a very, very talented and special coach. I think Coach Kohler prepared me for that transition as well. From early on, my dad always instilled, the discipline and the work ethic, and that just carried through in all the coaches that I had. I was very fortunate that each one, I think, prepared me for that next step.
Yeah, one thing we talked about, the numbers offensively, you had some great statistics, but people kind of forget the defensive side. You forget about that. You're the defensive player of the year in the conference in 01, and Coach Kruger obviously stressed that a lot in practice. But what were the key for you on defense? Is it just working extremely hard, wanting to play D, but to get those steals, reading the opponents? There obviously was a lot of effort that you had to put on. A lot of people don't want to do is working on defense.
Yeah, I think for me, and my dad will appreciate this comment, just being, and Coach Kruger, just being a student of the game, being able to not only play and use your athletic ability, but there were many teams that we played that I was not as fast as them, I was not as strong as them, but being able to find a way to excel when you aren't, in that position, kind of as the, maybe the underdog. Coming in as a freshman, I think for me it was important to find my role on the team, and looking at that team and figuring out where I fit in, and defense was where I fit in, and I could add the most value. So I think that's just where I put my time and effort.
Being part of a team is what it is about college athletes and the memories you have. But your team today is going into the Hall of Honor for their championship. But just how about the impact of the special relationships that you're able to build with your teammates, and to be able to, this is a great honor obviously as well for you as an individual, but to go as a team is pretty special as well.
Oh, it's amazing. And when you think about it, you know, sports, life, you know, nobody does it on their own. There's a team around you, you know, there's a team at work, there's a, you know, team at home, making sure you know, everybody, you know, gets where they need to be, and you can be as successful as possible. So, you know, I really think, and a couple have said it already, you know, your teammates become your sisters and your friends, and they're lifelong friends, and there's many of them here today, there's many that aren't here, but, you know, I think some of my best friends today are still those that I play basketball with.
And obviously a lot of wins, we've got like great crowds at the RA facility and the community support. And today, you know, you raising a family here, married with kids, you still live in Marshall, and that's that bond that Marshall had is pretty special, and our student athletes saw that back when you played, but still today.
Oh, absolutely. Marshall is a very special community, and the moment you step foot in this town, you're welcomed. Everybody is so supportive. You know, obviously I'm still here after how many years raising a family. You know, I want my kids to be part of that, and you know, I think Marshall gives you that small town feel, but yet you still have the opportunities to do big things.
Well, Shelley, congratulations on a great honor twice today. Your team as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Our next inductee is Zach Wysong. Presents Zach's Hall of Honor plaque is former SMSU head coach Eric Eitznes.
Closing his career as the program's all-time leading rusher, while demonstrating to be one of the most versatile running backs in team history. During his first season of play in 2006, Wysong rushed for a team-high 603 yards and 5 touchdowns, and ranking 4th on the team in receptions. The following season, Wysong earned all NSIC honor mention honors, rushing for a team-high 6 touchdowns, while amassing 651 yards on the ground. Wysong reached the 1,000-yard rushing mark as a junior in 2008, carrying the ball 234 times for 1,016 yards and 9 touchdowns. He also led the team with 64 receptions for 470 yards and 1 touchdown, and helping the Mustangs to their first winning season in 9 years. He was named All-NSIC second team, while leading the NSIC in all-purpose yardage. Wysong closed his career in 2009, earning All-NSIC second team once again, leading the Mustangs with 905 yards rushing with 5 touchdowns. Wysong is the only Mustang player to lead the team in rushing all 4 seasons. He finished his career ranking first in school history in rushing yards, rushing attempts, rushing yards per game, second in rushing touchdowns, second in all-purpose yards, and 4th in scoring.
The newest member of the Hall of Honor, Zach Wysong.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well earned. Had great success, Zach, running the football during your career at Southwest, and we'll talk more about that. But just looking at some of those numbers, we forget how many passes you caught out of the backfield. And I say now, you're like Christian McCaffrey before he was Christian McCaffrey. I mean, you caught so many balls out of the backfield. What made you so effective to be able to, because not many running backs can always do that, but you now catch as well. You know, how did that become part of your game?
My sophomore year in high school, I actually played wide receiver, so that played into it a little bit. But I think even prior to that, just getting out into the yard with Dad, the neighborhood kids, all that stuff, and just going out and playing the game. And then I get here to Southwest, and in order to play, you got to separate yourself somehow. I constantly was running routes with quarterbacks. I wanted to be the quarterback's best friend. That's the way to get the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you can't ever be able to do too many things in athletics. And so it was just one of those things that I worked really hard for.
You know, any successful playing career comes with team success as great teammates and friends, and a great running back always thank you for the offensive lineman. But football is a grind, you know, if you're redshirting and just the workouts and then being on scout team. But being a part of a football team is something special, and you got to experience that and still today with many of your teammates.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who plays college football, college sports, just a brotherhood. No matter what sport you play, you're with them day and night, every day, all day. You know, morning workouts, 6 a.m., then film, then it's class, then more film, and then you got to try to find time to get to the training room. You're with your friends and people that you care about all the time. So it's just, you know, those little things.
And if you didn't do it during the season, taking care of your linemen, I mean, there's probably plenty of time tonight if you need to buy them a drink or two, okay, just for payback, right?
Big Jim, I got you.
There you go. I'm trying to work for you there, Jim. I asked this question with Tyler as well as Zach, but you had some outstanding coaches at Southwest, and Coach Eisnes was here today, and staff took a chance on a 9-man football player, and now you become the program's all-time leading rusher. The impact that Coach Eisnes and the coaches had on you.
Yeah, I mean, first, to take a chance is kind of crazy. So my first day of college football, I weighed 156 pounds. I was little, I was not very fast. They were one of 2 schools to recruit me. So to say they took a chance is even, I mean, that's a big word. But, you know, even now, after getting to know them more, is when I appreciate them even more. I had a health scare about 8 years ago. First person through the door was Eisnes. It's a big deal. You mean a lot.
Being part of a team, we go back to that 2018, recorded a winning season at Southwest, which hasn't happened a lot in football. The final game of that season to secure the winning year was in Moorhead, a tropical 28 degrees with northwest wind at 30 miles an hour and snowing. You ran the ball 46 times that day, 225 yards, and again, got the win, secured the winning season. Memories of that day, if you can remember from being frozen, but to have a winning season with the guys, to culminate that season had to be pretty special.
Yeah, it was. And really, like, we were 6-5 that year, but I think that year was the year we lost 4 of our 5 games by a possession. So we were really close. We were right on the brink of being able to, you know, really make some noise. You know, but that game for me, I don't think 28 degrees was where it was at. I mean, it was cold. Warm-ups felt like it was 4 hours long. You couldn't catch punts. I remember, you know, receivers would come into, everything I remember about it's not even about the game. You know, receivers would come into the huddle and tell our quarterback Shud, like, man, you can't throw the ball that hard. I can't feel my hands. It's cold. Like, can we just hand it off some more? You know, and then the backup running back at the time was from California. And he, I don't think, moved from in front of the NIPCO all game. And I remember coming off about halfway through the first, and he said, dude, if I have to go in, it's not going to be good. I can't feel my body. You know, but like my success for that day, I mean, touching the ball 46 times, it's something you really want as a running back, is to touch it a lot. But I remember it was probably about halfway through the 4th quarter. We ran an inside zone, and I was able to kind of bounce it off, and there was nobody out in front of me, and I just felt like I was running in quicksand. I just could not get going anymore. My legs were tired, I was tired, and it was just one of those things. So, you know, running the ball that much, it was awesome, it was really cool, but it's not something I would want to do every day.
And of course, same question we had with Tyler, but you got to play at Old Mackey and of course the Schwann Regional Event Center, but just a great place to close out your career, to get to play on turf, which is probably a little bit easier to run as well, a little quicker. It made you faster.
You know, turf was good. It was also my worst enemy. Taped ankles were something that needed to be done every time. But as far as the new facility goes, I mean, it's really cool to be able to say that I was one of the first to get to play in the inaugural year. It's really cool. If you ever get up into the stadium, there's a big photo painting up there. I was fortunate enough to be in that. You know, those types of things are just things that I won't forget.
Well, Zach, you had an unbelievable career. Thanks for making it back here today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Our next inductee is Laura Kroll. To present Laura's Hall of Honor plaque is former SMSU assistant athletic trainer and good friend, Patty Mervick.
As an employee for SMSU Athletics for 25 years, serving 1 year as assistant athletic trainer, before assuming the role as head athletic trainer in 1997. Kroll was one of the longest tenured employees in the SMSU Athletics department when she retired, providing day-to-day protection and safety to Mustang student athletes for nearly 3 decades. As head athletic trainer, Kroll led full-time and student trainers, as well as overseeing the entire SMSU sports medicine program and facilities at SMSU. The SMSU Athletics department grew to 19 intercollegiate sports with more than 400 student athletes during her tenure. Kroll mentored countless full-time and student trainers in the sports medicine profession and was instrumental in helping oversee the expansion of SMSU athletic training room space and equipment needs, along with additional staffing in the athletic training department.
Please welcome the newest member of the Hall of Honor, Laura Kroll.
Got to ask more about that question, that picture there of the guys pushing you on the gator there. That was interesting. Right there. Look at that.
Actually, my daughter was helping me that day, and she was 16, and she, I don't know, did you stall the gator?
I stalled it on the
Stalled the gator. So.
I don't see any running backs. I don't see what I saw. Just the lineman again.
No, it didn't take long. All they had to do was bump it, and it went back into gear. But, yeah, because that's when I recruited my family for help.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Laura, congratulations. You had an incredible career in the sports medicine field, serving in various roles throughout your professional career. But what made you choose this profession?
You know, I don't know if I can really remember when I wanted to go into healthcare. Of course, until I was 16, I thought it was veterinary healthcare that I wanted to do. But I sustained myself a really pretty, I have an artificial knee. I tore my knee up when I was 13. And there was zero rehab, and in fact, I don't think they even told me that I'd torn my ACL. I went for years not knowing why my knee was unstable. And so when I hit college, I went to Iowa State, and my mentor was the head athletic trainer for the women. That's when the women and men were still different. And they were doing evaluations, and one thing led to another, and I was like, this is the perfect combination of what I love, and so that's been it.
We are today.
Yeah.
You know, we're hearing the stories from all of our student athletes. And working in college athletics and dealing with student athletes can be very challenging at times. Stories, but at the same time, very rewarding. Seeing the student athletes succeed on the play is great, of course, but the relationships that you're able to build with them is something you truly can't forget.
No, and probably the thing I missed most, really. You know, when I started, my kids were 10 and under. I had 4 kids under the age of 10. And I didn't really have a lot of mentors who looked like me in that regard. And so I started really with this idea that I wanted to take care of every one of them like they were my own, right? And so it was listen, and love. And then come up with a program that fit that, you know, for that individual person. That was the goal. That was a very lofty goal, considering the staffing. But
I was just going to lead to that. When you first started at Southwest, you basically was a training department, put that in quotes, basically a department of one, but help. But over the years, that expanded with graduate assistants, and during the 5, 10 years, 15 years, it got a little bit larger. But just talk about those earlier years and how you had to develop this program.
those years are a blur.
Yeah.
So all of my experience was Division I experience coming here. We moved here in '94, and the only athletic training room I'd ever worked in had a $40,000 Cybex, like in the early 80s. So, I don't know, there's a lot of people in the room that remember when the athletic training room was the old baseball team room, or is the baseball team room. It had a taping table, 3 treatment tables, an ice machine, and a whirlpool. And
That was it.
that was it. Yeah, I made Butch Raymond come down and look at it, and he was like, okay, I'll help you. Yeah. And yeah. What did I miss there?
Well,
I'm going on? Okay. I'm not usually in this role.
No, and one thing, speaking of your staff, and
Yes.
growing over the years, there's so many in the profession that you're still close. So many of them are still in today. Special.
Oh, I might get emotional. I alluded to the fact that, and when I started in the early 80s, athletic training was predominantly male. And all of my role models were male, and here I hit the decks with, I was bringing an 18-month-old into the training room with me, and we had a linebacker at the time, his name was Brian Jeton. Do I have that right?
Yep, that's right.
I'm starting to lose some of the names, but my youngest, who might be listening, she was in Colorado, and she screamed the whole time I was kicking, screamed. And he said, would you stop what you're doing and take care of her? Because I was trying to juggle, and I just handed her to him. And I said, you can take care of her while I do this. So it became really important to me when working on a staff, and I learned this through trial and error. I had a lot of mistakes. That I needed a team, not that dissimilar from a lot of the athletes that I'm looking at. I needed people who could roll, like when they call from school and they say, your kid's running a fever of 102, you need to come get her. Or the buses aren't running on plowed routes, right? And so somebody needs to meet the bus. And so I always wanted a group of caring athletic trainers or a team who could just slide. And so a lot of them will tell you, I'm looking at 2 of them right now, but they will tell you that when I interviewed them, I didn't ask them very many questions about their athletic training competence because they passed the test, they were working in the field. I asked them a lot of different questions about how they would handle situations like, your boss needs to go get her child, or what are you going to do if somebody gets an injury with 10 minutes left in practice and nobody can stay but you? Can you do that? Can you go to the hospital with that? I asked lots and lots of those things because I was creating my own team of people because the number one goal is still to take the best care of the student athlete. So you need people that will roll into that. And that's why I think we develop such close relationships.
And Laura, to work in this profession and for one place for so long, the hours you put in, you need an understanding family. You touched on that, but Scott and your kids, to know the hours, the bus trips, the long weekends away from home, chat about your family.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You see, now I've got this in 2 hands, so when it starts to shake. I have the most amazing family. I have 4 girls, and they were all very active. They did just about everything. I have dancers and hockey players and violinists and band members and student class presidents, and I didn't want to miss any of that. I wanted to do that, and they just made it happen, and mostly the person that made that happen is right there, my husband, who can cook with the best of them, and he can grocery shop, and he can take care of little girls. He can do girls' hair really well, and he doesn't use a vacuum cleaner to do it. And he made it happen for me. So, yeah.
Well, Laura, congratulations. You made such an impact. So many student athletes for your 25 plus years. Well, for that, so congratulations on this great award.
Thank you.
next inductee is Doug Fraunfelder. To present Doug's Hall of Honor plaque, his friend Karen Sweetland.
Fraunfelder has been an avid supporter of SMSU athletics in various roles since moving to Marshall in 1992. Fraunfelder has been a longtime member of the SMSU Mustang Booster Club, assisting the club's board of directors in various roles, including serving as the Mustang Booster Club president. Fraunfelder was active in numerous Booster Club events over the years, specifically the annual Gold Rush Raffle, in which he helped sell countless tickets and spent many hours collecting auction items from local businesses. Fraunfelder was an employee at SMSU for 18 years, serving as Vice President of Finance and Administration.
Please welcome the newest member of the Hall of Honor, Doug Fraunfelder.
Smart one there. Congratulations, Doug.
Well, thank you, Kelly.
Good to see you. Well, you served in various roles in the university during your at different universities before you came to Southwest in Marshall in 1992. Did you know right away that, or did it take some time that you knew Southwest and Marshall was the place that you were going to spend most of your professional career, and Marshall just has that draw in Southwest?
Well, this is an election year, so I'm going to be like a politician. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to answer something totally different.
Go ahead.
But I just wanted to say, Karen Sweetland out here
Yeah.
Is the spousal unit of Doug Sweetland, former president, and he deserves this reward. He started out this university back in the early 90s, 94, I think, and he was told when he came here that one of the many threats SMSU, or SSU at the time, had of being closed, and he was told by the chancellor, get the enrollment up or else. Well, whether that would have actually happened or not is a whole other thing, but you know, there was always a threat there. So he did that. In '96, he brought us from NAIA into D2, which was a major feat. I'm still to this day not really sure if he was in favor of that or not, but he went around and he asked everybody, and reminding them that it might cost a couple extra dollars to do that, and he got it done. Then another thing, see, I'm forgetting one, but that's okay, we'll skip it. Probably the most important thing he did is when concessions first started serving in the new RA facility, he noticed there was something missing, and he made them get it there, and it was hot dogs. So you can thank Doug Sweetland for having hot dogs for games. I will answer your question.
Go right ahead. That is important. I mean, and we'll touch on that about the things that were improved during not only his time but others, but how important little things like that. But the president, it makes a big difference at that time and when you first started, and that obviously had an impact on you.
I remembered the thing I forgot. The other thing was he started one of the many traditions here at SMSU. Every year at the beginning of the school year, they had what I call the State of the University message. And he got up there and gave his presentation, and one of his, maybe it was even his first one. And I'm going to try to get this right. At the end of the thing, he said, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to go out there and help those kids move in. Well, everybody took that to heart, and a lot of people went over and helped the students move in, and coming up with a very unique name for that event, they called it Move-In Day.
Yeah, a lot of hard work.
There was a lot of thinking going on with that, but so we, to this day, we still help students move in. The faculty, the employees, the townspeople, Bremer Bank, the best bank in town.
Well, Doug, and you were a major part of a lot of those decisions that went on with the budgeting and those type of things in your role. And you saw, as you mentioned, moving from NAI to Division II, but you saw so many changes of the campus facility-wise, not only athletic-wise, but the student center, which it burned down unfortunately, but it got us a nice new building. But those are important things to get the RA facility going. When you were here, we just had the PE gym, and how important that was to the university as a whole to get those facilities, to get more opportunities. And then we also saw a student athlete opportunity to grow with more sports. And that took a lot of work by the athletic department, but also the president's cabinet, and you to balance the books and find that money for everything.
Well, generally, I couldn't find the money.
Just push it around.
I was just talking to folks at the table over there that I was here for 18 years and always in the finance role and working with budgets. And I can think of 2 years where we didn't have big budget cuts. And for some reason, it always ended up to be 3.8 million. I don't know how that worked, but it was just a magical number. But yeah, we had a lot of things going on. We took lemons and turned them into lemonade. Like you mentioned, the fire and food service created a wonderful new facility. We went from a student center that was kind of like an opium den into the way going for me.
Yes, I got you. I'll explain what that means to some later.
Most people don't know what den means, but yeah, we had a lot of opportunities. Most people don't remember. We had 3 fires right in a row. And a lot of people don't remember when we were building the RA facility, it actually caught on fire.
Yes, it did in the summer.
And yeah, on the west wall there, we had a little fire going on down there. Of course, there was nothing there other than the wall, but so it didn't hurt much. And then we had another fire over in the IAL building, which is where we got the major remodeling and hotel and restaurants program restarted there, and really made a difference to a lot of things. And then, of course, the REC, which I will always call the REC, the Regional Event Center.
Doug, you obviously work in the university, you're very close with athletics, but you got very involved with the Mustang Booster Club and serving in various roles. And one of our biggest fundraisers is coming up is the Gold Rush Raffle in a couple of weeks here, and you were just very instrumental in helping sell tickets to go down the streets, downtown Marshall, to get gifts and those type of things. Just, I suppose that has to be very rewarding to volunteer and do those type of things because it really was passionate to you.
Frankly, it's something every employee should do. This university treated me well. And I think everybody should go out and do some fundraising or put in some time at the ticket booth or whatever you can or are willing to do, because we've all earned a good living here, and this university is something special.
And that kind of leads to my last question. There's a lot of people in this room, obviously strong supporters of our university athletics, but what would you say to someone new to town, looking to support Southwest, or why do you think it's important, as you just kind of touched on it, but to be active in impacting student athletes?
Well, the self-satisfaction you get from doing that kind of thing. But SMSU is really important to the community in the region. First of all, my whole career was in education. Joanne, my wife, was in education. She worked at the school district in finance too, of course. Tell me if that doesn't cause some discussions at home. It adds so much to the community. But education is at the forefront. Then becomes the cultural and entertainment aspects of it. Athletics being a big part of that, but theater, speeches, presentations, all kinds of things add up to that. And then there is, frankly, the economic impact. This place has a huge economic impact on the area, and I know every year they put an article out there that says how much, but I don't think anybody really reads it or thinks about it. But it's very important to the community in the area.
Doug, we want to thank you for all your years here at service at Southwest in various roles, and your service here still to this day. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Our last inductee is the 2001-02 women's basketball team. Representing the team on stage is former SMSU head coach Kelly Kruger.
2002 women's basketball team captured the second straight NSIC regular season title of the program's first ever NSIC tournament championship and made the deepest run into the national tournament in team history. Under the direction of head coach Kelly Kruger, SMSU was picked to finish third in the NSIC preseason coaches poll. SMSU had high expectations in 01-02 and opened the season winning 10 of its first 13 games, including a 5-0 start in NSIC play. The Mustangs would suffer a tough stretch in the month of January, losing 4 of 7 games to drop out of first place in the NSIC standings. However, the team rebounded in a major way in the month of February, following a loss at Northern State. SMSU bounced back with a resounding victory at Minnesota Morris the next night. The victory started a streak of 6 straight wins to close the regular season and earned the program its 4th league title in team history. The winning streak also helped move the team into conversation for making an at-large bid into the NCAA tournament. SMSU put away any doubt about making the NCAA postseason by dominating all 3 opponents in the NSIC tournament to win the title. SMSU opened the NSIC tournament in Marshall with an 87-22 win over Minnesota Morris, before heading to St. Paul and cruising past NSU Morehead in the semifinals. SMSU closed the tournament run with a 63-48 championship game victory over Minnesota Duluth. SMSU would earn the 6th seed in the 6-team NCAA North Central Region tournament held in Grand Junction, Colorado, and faced the 3-seed Nebraska Kearney in the first round. SMSU earned a 67-57 win in the opening round before earning a 66-57 upset win over number 2 seed and perennial Division II power University of North Dakota in the semifinals. SMSU would battle number 4 seed at South Dakota State in the region championship game. SMSU would hold a 1-point halftime advantage and later trailed 40-38 with 11 minutes remaining in the game. A 12-0 run by SDSU over a 4-minute stretch doomed SMSU with a 62-50 loss. Both Amy Bowman and Michelle Bruns were named to the NCAA Region All-Tournament team. SMSU closed the season 24-8, 14-4 in the NSIC, and finished ranked number 21 in the final WBCA Top 25 poll.
2001-02 women's basketball team. Coach, come on up. A lot going on there here.
Maybe I don't even have to get up.
No, everything just talked about you right there. But we'll get the team up here shortly. But Coach, the 2000 and 2001 team went into the Hall of Honor a few years back. They had a great season, obviously, that year. You had a lot coming back. You knew you had a good team. Coaches only picked us 3rd, by the way, to win, finish 3rd place in 02. But you had to replace 3 starters in Schreier, Fry, and Honerman. But you knew you had several players coming back that would help this team. But you had some youth as well. But the team had to grow through some process. And just chat about what you knew coming into the preseason and into the season about this 01-02 team.
Well, we knew that we had to replace some pieces to the puzzle. We knew we had a good recruiting class. We had a couple of good junior college kids coming in, Carolee and Grams, and we had a good freshman class. The Fab Four, I guess they called themselves.
We're original too back then.
Yeah. We had to teach them though that they couldn't order appetizers before pregame meals. They just thought that that's our first NIL, I guess.
Yeah, that was all free. Yeah, just money grows on trees, right?
Yep. But so we knew early on that in our fall workouts that we were going to be pretty athletic. We knew we had some kids that could play. We knew we had some kids that could fly around. And but there's always a process. You got to go through the growth of it all. And started out that we went down to Florida, played a couple games down there, played well. And then we a tough stretch where we played a lot of the North Centrals, like back to back to back to back. And we came out of that pretty good. I think we came out of that 3-2, the stretch over 5 games, and then conference play started, and we just kind of kept growing and growing and getting better. And then we had to step back, like you said once there. I think the big thing was when we lost at home to Duluth. After beating them up there, I think then we kind of took a step back. We knew we had to make a couple changes. We did, and then we just kind of took off from there.
One thing before we talk more about that. A lot went on that year in the 01-02. We talked about fall work. So 9/11 happened, and then the fire on campus. And then in January, so locker rooms are shut down. We had to use the RA facility for locker rooms. The student center is not available anymore. Just a lot of things the team had to deal with off the court of play.
Yeah, so like everything going on, with 9/11, they didn't. We were supposed to go to Florida and play, and everything was shut down. There was no flights. And I remember Southwest coaches calling us saying, hey, you still want to go to Florida? And we said, like, yeah. Well, the airlines want you to go because they wanted to get that back to being normal. And they said, your tickets are like $325. They're going to knock them down to $100. And I said, yeah, we're going to go. So I even took my $2 with us. So that was that. And then with the fire, yeah, we had to, we couldn't practice. We had to go to high school and practice. We had to, our offices got moved. I remember they said one time during that year we had to 10 minutes. We had to run up to our own offices, grab everything you can in 10 minutes and get out of there. Otherwise, you'd get sick or something. So we quick ran up there. And then I remember even Butch coming to Greg Stephen and I, the men's coach, saying, "Hey, you guys got to get out of here because we're supposed to go play at Concordia, St. Paul, and Winona." He said, "You got to get out. You just guys got to get away from here." So I think we ended up playing at Neiman's High School, at practicing there for a day or two at Armstrong and those kind of things. So we had a lot to go through, but I think it was part of that growth process that kind of built us, kind of brought us tight as a team.
We've done this a time or two. I'll just do that. We'll go back and forth. Let's kind of talk about that team and their roles, coaches. You mentioned the loss to UMD, but they had a loss to Northern there early February and then went on the huge streak to win the regular season championship and the tournament as well. Just talk about the sacrifices that the players on the team kind of grew into their roles, knew to be a better team. Everyone had to figure out what their specific role was, and it seemed to work out there in the last half of the year.
Yeah, so sometimes the hardest thing you have to do as a coach, you got to go to like a senior, and you got to go to a young lady like that, and you got to say like, "Hey, Nicole, and we're gonna put you to the bench, and we're gonna start this freshman." And if she doesn't handle that well, that can kind of disrupt everything, and as far as your chemistry, and we just knew that we were going to be better if we started Michelle in that role. And I think we already had Reagan in that starting position in the forward spot. So that was key. I mean, she really had to kind of bite the bullet on it, and she handled it really well. And I think at that point in time, after that UMD game, is when we kind of started taking off because of some of the adjustments we had to make as a staff. And if that doesn't go real well, we're not sitting here today. And she handled it really well because the last weekend in the regular season, we're playing at Moorhead. And if we win on Friday night at Moorhead, we win at least a share of the conference title. Well, Moorhead was ready for us, and Moorhead played us really tough. But Nicole, Bully, we call her Bully, Bully made 2 huge threes down the stretch. And one of them where, as a coach, you're kind of like, don't, but yeah, you made a good shot. So that really helped us gain, to win a share of the conference title. But we had a lot of self-sacrifice. A lot of kids had to do a lot of things that normally they weren't used to doing. They had to put themselves in a different position, and they accepted it. And you see the results. You see the results of that personal sacrifice.
And one thing you always did during your time as head coach was just put together a tough schedule. And you faced a lot of North Central teams at that time. There was obviously non-conference, but to win the conference and then go out to the regional and beat 2 teams that are really perennial powers, Nebraska, Kearney, and then to beat UND, but really put Southwest on the map. That's got to be something you're probably it makes you the most proud, is that year and then the years to follow, but Southwest became a Division II, one of those top programs in our region, and to beat UND at that time, which they never lost, not much, and to go and beat them in the region semifinals was pretty special.
Yeah, during the time of the conference tournament, we played always in the NSIC. We played Saturday, Sunday. So then we played Moorhead, and then we played UMD, and then we flew out on Thursday, and we had to play Kearney. No offense, I'm sorry, but we wanted to win, so we had to beat you. But it was a great game. But anyway. And then to play UND, and then I was telling the gals earlier that the UND radio guy was really arrogant with me before the game because we played him at home and lost. We had a chance to win it, but we missed a shot. But he was arrogant with me because he said, "Well, it seems like you're on vacation out here. You came out here on Tuesday, and we just came out yesterday, and that type of thing." And I said, "Well, you realize we played yesterday." you know, kind of like, wake up, guy. I mean, you know, so he was kind of like, you know, you guys just out here to see Colorado and so on and so forth. But when we beat them, the conference office was so happy that they took me golfing in the spring because we were able to beat a North Central team. So I got to thank the gals for playing around the golf, which I don't hardly ever do, but it was a huge win, you know. And then we played South Dakota State on Saturday night, and I knew at halftime we were in trouble, even though we were up 1, because that was our 5th game in 8 days. And I remember looking at him, especially like Shoney, and looking at her face and everything, like her eyes were sunk back in her head, you know, because it was like they were exhausted, not just because of altitude, because it was our 5th game in 8 days, and we did hang on for quite a while, but the Jacks got us that night.
One last thing I want to talk about this, and we're a little bit biased. And Coach, we had a lot of great players that year and earned a lot of accolades, but I kind of forgot until you told me this, but we thought somebody should have got Player of the Year. And she was just up here a little while ago, but Shelly Schoenig had a great season, and you know, there was a lot of great players on that particular team, but I don't know. How come she wasn't voted Player of the Year?
Can I tell 2 quick little stories? You guys will be wrong. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so she doesn't get voted Player of the Year, which I'm, you know, as a coach, you're a little bit biased, but also I always try to take a step back, because Schreier was the year before, okay, for us. But you know, Shoney, I mean, we're conference champions, and we've got a good record. We played a good schedule, and I remember just thinking, like, what are these other coaches looking at in the league? What are they seeing that I'm not seeing? I mean, I'm pretty realistic about things, you know, and I'm like, she should have been Player of the Year. Now, she was the conference tournament Player of the Year, but she should have been Player of the Year. And I don't know if that motivated her or not to play her butt off that way in the conference tournament, but I'll tell you what, you know, I just don't know what they were looking at. So if that was motivation for her to do it, great. But she did get kind of screwed over with that. Now I got to tell you this other story, okay? And it's kind of funny. At least we think it's funny, all right? When Bruns was a senior in high school, I said to our assistant, Mark Norrie, I said, Mark, I mean, this kid can play. I said, why aren't we on? Well, coach, you know, Norrie, you know what Norrie's like, a little bit like, oh, yeah, okay, you know. She's not going to go anywhere. We still got a chance at her. I said to her, said to Norrie, if you get her here, I'll take you out for a steak supper. I mean, we need her here. Okay, so then she's in that recruiting class. And she comes in, and we're playing in the conference tournament. This is over a year later, in the tournament semifinals. And we're drilling Moorhead, really getting after them. We're sitting there just kind of watching them, kind of soaking it in. And sometimes as a coach, the best thing you can do is just shut up and sit down. Okay, so we're just drilling them, and then Oletsky, he leans over, the other assistant, one of them leans over and says, hey, have you bought Norrie that steak for getting her here? And I go, no. He goes, you need to buy him the whole damn cow. So, and the last thing is, the gals really want me to stress is that, you know, we were a team, but we were tighter than that. We were a family. And it's carried over not only since that season, and I think that's what all of our teams, we're a family, because anytime there's been like, I think somebody else said that too, if there's been a little tragedy in their life or tough moments, it's those people, it's the teammates that have really rallied to them and supported them. And Mary and I were talking about that at a basketball tournament this fall, and it brought me to tears when she told me that, because I just think that's what it's all about. And you've heard that up here many, many times, that you come together as a team, but you leave as a family. And that was us, and they're the epitome of that. So I really appreciate them. And I got to tell the parents, I thank you for allowing me to coach them the way they needed to be coached. Because that doesn't happen nowadays, all the time. I appreciate you allowing me to coach them so we could succeed the way we did that year. So thank you.
Congratulations. 2001 OT team members, come on up. The team members from that squad, Carolee Acor, Amy Bowman, Michelle Bruns, Nicole Bullock, Alyssa Downing, Reagan French, Lori Grams, Lindsay Happ, Lindsay Hartman, Erica Neiman, Emily Richter, Mary Rotto, and Shelley Schoenig. We had a couple that are coaching basketball as we speak, or they're at their kids' games, but a lot of them could make it here today, so congratulations to the 01 team.
This will conclude the latest induction of the SMSU Athletics Hall of Honor. A few things before we leave today. If the inductees could please come to the backdrop for some pictures. Please do not leave before we get pictures. Also a reminder that our Hall of Honor class will be recognized at halftime of the men's basketball game. You can line up in the corner behind the SMSU bench near the end of the first half. Your tickets are in your gift bag you received earlier. The women's game is at 5 and the men's game at 7. Thank you for all coming this afternoon for this special occasion. Go Mustangs, let's ride.
Gonna do it?